So this is exciting because this is our very first inaugural podcast. This is, of course, one of the great ideas that came out of our marketing and recruitment and strategic enrollment efforts, and just thought it was a great way to interact and to share information about you with the campus community in a little more of a relaxed format. So believe it or not, what led us to pick this month to launch was Women's History Month, of course, and your presidency was announced in March, the very last day of March, if I'm not mistaken. And you are Wilson's first female president. So we said, well, that may be an indication that all things are aligned for us to roll out this month with the first podcast.
Absolutely.
So thank you for taking time to do that. And it has been, I think, I've never known a president to not say that it's like drinking from the fire hose in those initial months, but it has definitely been a whirlwind. There have been so many things happening that were already in play. Once you got here, immediately walked into the relaunch of the institutional strategic plan. Of course, we are coming up on our reaffirmation for accreditation, which is huge in the life of a college, and just got that compliance certification sent off last month, so that was a big lift. And then the new building S at Lee Technology Center, having that kind of bring that project to completion for our industrial trades programs was very exciting too. And that doesn't even scratch the surface. I know there's so much more. But just to kind of get a sense of your background and what led you to here, I'm guessing that you didn't sit in fifth grade as the smartest little girl in fifth grade and think, I want to be a community college president one day. Most people do not arrive at it in that manner. But we had an opportunity to talk with some of our students at an event at the end of last semester and just ask the students, well, what would you ask the president if you could ask her anything? What would you want to know? And so generally they had questions about, well, where did she come from? What did she do before she came here? How did she wind up choosing Wilson Community College to serve? And they just sort of wanted to know about your professional pathway. So could you tell us a little bit? I know you've been a long time North Carolina Community College System educator. So tell us how it all began.
Okay, I'll give you, and no, I did not in fifth grade think, I wanted to be a dentist, I think, in fifth grade and everything in between. But I think my first passion for community college came from my teaching experience, which interestingly enough, I kind of fell into I'm just going to call it what it was. It was a lark. I was between degrees and I was trying to decide was going to get a doctorate degree in English, which is my first disciplinary love, or was I going to consider something else, or was I even going to do that at all? So there was an ad in the paper for a part-time English instructor, and I thought, I might try that, which seems in retrospect really kind of naive. And I always think about my early students who were so patient with me as I learned as I went along. But I immediately just fell in love with it. I thought, I can't believe they pay me to do this. I really enjoyed the fact that, because I'd done some substitute teaching in between, that really wasn't for me. Of course, substitutes, they always told me you're lucky if you survive the day, and if everybody's still breathing at the end of the day, you've done your job.
Well
so
done.
Actually having a class of my own and students who were passionate about finishing their education, transfer students, people who are coming back to school after years of being out in some cases, sacrificing time with their family to be there to learn, was just really inspiring to me. And I love teaching writing. I love watching people's writing skills improve. That was just fun for me. So from there, I decided that's where I wanted to be. I went back to graduate school to work on a PhD in curriculum and instruction, always keeping a foot in teaching part-time as I went, working in grad school in the Office of Education, also in the Office of Advancement at times. So dabbling across the spectrum of higher education as a grad student, but knowing full well when I finished I was going to be looking to get back into a teaching job. And as fate would have it, as it often does, right when I completed my doctoral degree and was only writing the dissertation, a full-time position at the school I had left to go back to graduate school opened that very fall. I went right back in. They welcomed me in with open arms, and I stayed there for many years in the northwestern part of the state at Surrey Community College, teaching working as a director in the Academic Support Center, eventually a dean of arts and sciences, and then eventually overseeing student services and instruction before coming to Hertford County to Roanoke Shawan to serve in a similar capacity there when I moved to the eastern part of the state. And interestingly enough, a good friend called me up about Wilson Community College's presidency. I didn't know Dr. Wright was retiring, and she said, "Do you mind if I recommend you? I know they're looking for people to apply." I said, "I'm in the eastern part of the state now. I'd like to stay in this part of the state." And sure. So at the same time, I was doing my own homework on Wilson and was just very impressed, as I continue to be. It's such a solid school, solid foundation of exceptional faculty, administrators, a real history of strength, strong boards, and not only stability, which is really important, in continuity, but also a willingness to look around the corner and to think about ways that this community college can uplift the whole workforce and support all the county residents. So it was just very compelling, and the minute I came on campus, I felt like, I hope this works out. It really feels right, and thankfully it did work out, and I've just been completely grateful. I tell people I hit the job lottery with this job. I'm very, very fortunate to have this position with this group of people.
We're very glad to have you. We're very thankful, of course. Anytime new leadership comes on and there's such a big change, there's always that uncertainty. I think I've shared before, you're the fourth president that I've had the opportunity to serve under. So there's always that little, span of time where you're going, okay, how's this going to work?
Right.
But totally agree, from the first time that you came on campus and you met with the senior leadership team, the board members, started interacting across the campus, for me, and I've heard other people remark as well, it felt very natural. It felt like a good fit. And a lot of the things that you had shared during your presentation during the open forum just really resonated, I think, with the work that Wilson has done and the foundation that's been built. And then, like you're saying, with an eye toward the future, for sure, being the next big thing. So on that note, I know you're barely, not even quite a full year in, but what do you see or hope for on the horizon for Wilson Community College in the next few years?
Sure.
Well, the one thing, as you well know, as being a key leader in this, and certainly our marketing arm as well, and all of student development, enrollment has been a huge focus. I feel like we are already seeing the fruits of everyone's hard labor and innovative thinking, and talking about how can we get out to the students in multiple ways with multiple arms of the campus versus just strictly relying on recruiters or strictly calling it the purview of student development, and recognizing we all have a role to play in that. So I think that's already some of the things we're doing organizationally are really paying dividends for us, and will continue to with enrollment. In spite of our concerns, which we all have about the enrollment cliff and shrinking high school populations, I think we're going to reach more broadly, still cultivate that population, but recognize areas that maybe we could be doing a deeper dive into. Of course, biotech and the Workforce Training Center is of utmost importance in my mind and everybody's mind as we work toward the implementation of that center. The revitalization and renovation of G Building, which is primarily going to house our health sciences programs going forward, so that we can expand with the ever increasing demand for healthcare workers across the spectrum. We want to make sure we have a facility that not only allows for growth, but also represents our programs in the best possible light, labs commensurate with industry standards, so that there's less of a schism between the experience in the classroom and then the practical experience, which they certainly get through clinical, but we want them to be very immersive. That's a huge part of where we're going. And then I think the next run will be trying to serve the agribusiness community more so than we have in the past. That's huge industry in Wilson County that we need to support in the capacity that's most practical, most nimble and responsive to what they need. And it may predominantly be through short-term opportunities and trainings and certifications, but doing more in that space and making sure we're connected and meeting the demand there. So that would be probably the next frontier.
Absolutely, Yeah, for sure. And everything that you just described, I think, is such a testament to, again, the flexibility of the community college, just in general, to be able to be that quick and responsive and that vehicle that drives workforce and economic development and benefits the community as a whole. So, I always joke with my staff and I say, if you have to have a job, which most of us do, this is one of the very best jobs that you can have, because it is, without a doubt, at every single level, it's, everything that you do is ultimately going to be for the benefit of students who are real people, real lives, real working members of the community that are looking for ways to contribute and give back. And so it feels good to be a part of something like that.
Absolutely.
So I think we are very fortunate in that regard, and very fortunate for your strong leadership and your vision to help us move forward.
Well, thank you.
So the final fun thing, just again, for any of our students who may be wanting to get more of a sense of your personality or your temperament and preferences. So no hard questions, no right or wrong, just first impulse. So you'll be familiar with this either or format, but first one, beach or mountains?
Beach.
Beach lover. Okay.
Definitely.
Because you grew up in the mountains, so beach
I did,
feels like
so the mountains seems like, they're wonderful,
beautiful. And enjoy.
I like to see them, but then I'm like, I've seen them, where's the beach?
Yes,
where's my umbrella?
I think it very much depends on where you
Yes.
grew up and what felt like a special,
Right,
thing
a
to
special
you.
retreat.
Yes, so totally get that. Okay, chocolate or vanilla?
Oh, that one's hard. I definitely tend toward vanilla.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'm just such a
Yes.
chocolate lover. I'm just like, how is there another choice?
I love chocolate when it comes to candies, but if it's a chocolate shake or vanilla, I'm going vanilla every time. I don't know why. It's weird.
No, like I said, no right or wrong. No right or wrong at all. So, okay. Books or movies?
Books.
Okay. Avid reader.
Yes.
I think we picked up on that.
The movies often disappoint me. I'm like, they miscast that. That wasn't really how it went. That wasn't how they wrote it. But yeah, I'm just kind of a bit nerdy.
All right. So indoors or outdoors? If you're
I would say that's 50-50. I mean, I really like to get outdoors. I love the lake. I like walking around the lake. I like hiking. But I can also hold down the couch on the weekend if I'm really tired. So both of those restore me. So I'd say that's probably split right down the middle.
Yep. I feel like all about the balance.
Yes.
All good things.
Exactly.
All right. And last one, sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise. I feel good in the morning, ready to go. Not always ready to turn off the alarm clock, but I feel like I'm at my best. Past 9 o'clock, you're not going to get a lot of productive out of me.
Totally understood. Yeah, we've had that conversation too. I think I tend to be more of I'm a sunset person.
Right.
Morning tends to be not my optimal functioning time.
It's a good balance.
But it is. That's again how we all work well. We all have our differences and all work well together. So
True.
All right. Well, thank you. I know you have such a busy schedule.
Thank you, Amy. I
this was
enjoyed
fun.
it. I thought it was fun too, and I appreciate the students' interest, and I look forward to ways we might fold them into future podcasts to marry their
Absolutely.
interest and passions for being students with our desire to serve them.
Yes, and huge thanks to our marketing team
Absolutely.
for getting
Best in the
everything
state.
set up.
Best in the country.
Totally agree, hands down, and for putting this together and giving us one more avenue to reach out to people. So
Great.
yes, stay tuned. Much more to come.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks.
If there's someone you'd like to hear from, we want to know. Please send us topics and guests you'd like to see in future podcasts. We're looking forward to this new series and hope we all learn a little more about the people in our community. Thanks so much for watching.